you've touched on what's going on in Iran. How do you see the resolution of this? Do you see something soon? Do you see an end to the violence?
No. I unfortunately not soon, because what happens is, well, last time they tried something, the crackdown was so huge they killed 1,500 people and put the leaders under house arrest. So this time round, they are threatening to kill 14,000 people.
Right.
They're cracking down and they're not stopping. But what's interesting is the people are saying we've reached an end game and we're not going to stop. So you're just going to have to kill all of us.
Yeah.
And can you imagine being
in
a situation where a government is saying we will kill you and the people are saying kill us? It's never, I don't think I've ever, maybe it's happened before, I've not seen it, but because this is a conscious organic revolution started, continued and probably will be concluded by women, we don't know where it's going to end. I would love to think, Sean, that it'll get resolved soon and there will be change some way. Either the government will just, all we can do is call them out and bring them to account. But what do you do? International courts, is there going to be like a Nuremberg tribunal? They're not going to allow that. So it's a situation we're watching. The beach soccer is a very interesting thing that's happened. Iran beat Brazil in the FIFA beach soccer tournament, a tournament that's second only to the FIFA World Cup in beach soccer. So the fact that Iran beat Brazil and they did, A, the players didn't sing the national anthem, and B, one of the players did the gesture where he pretended to cut his hair, which is in solidarity with the women, because women are cutting their hair. Because Mahsa Amini was a 22-year-old girl who was killed basically for showing too much hair. That's become a symbol. And now we understand there's unconfirmed reports that the beach soccer team have gone back to Iran and they've all been arrested. So this is a huge moment and the people are not happy about that. And with Iran going to the World Cup, everybody is conflicted. I did a Twitter thread about it because just to show how conflicted we are, because under the FIFA statutes, Iran should not be there because the way they discriminate against women are not allowed to go to football matches. The way that they shouldn't be, they're selling arms. Iran is selling arms to Russia to attack innocent Ukrainians. And anyone who does that, they should be thrown out the competition, and on top of everything else, that they break the big FIFA statute is that governments should not be involved in the Football Federation. And it's a joke that the whole Football Federation is controlled by the government. So under those statutes, Iran should have been thrown out a long time ago. But at the same time, a lot of us thinking, well, what if the players go and what if they make statements like they walk out with the mascots and all the mascots are girls aged between 7 and 22, none of them wearing hijab and they're all wearing Iran tops without the Islamic regime flag? That would be a thing. What if a player scores and they do another symbol? And of course, I don't know if you know, the Iranian Football League is continuing with nobody in the stadiums because they don't want protests. And the players are not celebrating out of respect to what's happening. So they're not going to celebrate, even if Iran score. If they don't celebrate a goal, everyone will know that's a message back that they're in solidarity with the people. So it's a huge moment. I think there'll be a lot happening almost daily. There's something extraordinary happening there, which every Iranian's on their phones. Even now, when I get off this Zoom with you, I'm going to check to see Instagram, what's the latest. But it's something, this is the point, Sean. It's not just far away in Iran. This impacts us here because if the women do it, if they do create a revolution and if they do create regime change, it has a massive impact on the West because it's the final conclusion of the Me Too movement where women refuse to, in Britain say, oh, Me Too, my boss spoke to me in a inappropriate way. Well, this is like, well, my regime wants to kill me. And if they do that, if they achieve it, this will have a massive impact globally. And I've always said this. I said this to my tech, Anna. I've got a female tech who doesn't. And I said to her, you've probably heard this analogy before, but humanity is like a bird and men and women are like two wings of a bird, men and women. And if one wing is broken, the bird can't fly. And she went, I've never heard that before. Now, that's an analogy I was raised with. And she goes, you should talk about that on stage. That's really interesting. Because actually, the patriarchy is everywhere. Men are affected by the patriarchy. So actually, this will release men. What women are doing in Iran has an impact on you and me, Sean, actually. So this is why we don't understand why the world is not shining a massive light on this. And it's also because we're in business with these people. We're in business with the Islamic Republic. So in a sense that it's being kept quiet. I don't see it on the news every day, on the BBC. I don't see it. I've heard bits and pieces, but this is something that should be on the news every single day. And while other governments don't get involved, there's more and more people are going to get killed, unfortunately. So it's a situation we've got to keep our eye on.